What's happening, YouTube? Back in the day, Gamer here. Thanks for tuning into my channel, and today I'm coming at you fresh from the Midwest Gaming Classic in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Now, last year was my first year hitting up the Midwest Gaming Classic, and it was so much fun, I said I'm definitely going again this year. As much fun as it was in 2017, 2018's Midwest Gaming Classic was 10 times as much fun. I don't exaggerate. First and foremost, the people. Old friends, new friends, people I'll never see again. That really made the weekend. Everybody was super cool. Everybody was there having a good time. I was definitely having a good time. There was that one guy laying on the bathroom floor. He maybe didn't have such a good time. You know who you are. You will remain nameless. But aside from the people who I want to thank once again for making my weekend, there was games. Tons and tons of games. Exhibit A. It's a big pile right here. Looking at 51 games in total. Last year I randomly picked up 50, and it's such a coincidence this year I got one extra. But moving along, we're going to have to cover the Midwest Gaming Classic in parts because so many things I want to talk about aside from the friends, the games. There was the big gaming hall itself, which had like the history of video games, all kinds of consoles set up on TVs to play. There was tons of arcade games, a whole bunch of pinball games. They launched the new Iron Maiden pinball game, yada yada yada. I'm definitely breaking up my Midwest Gaming Classic into parts because otherwise we're going to be here for an hour and nobody wants to look at my face or hear my voice for an hour. So we're going to cut to the chase. Today's video is about the Midwest Gaming Classic 2018 Holy Grails. I picked up two things that are the gems of my collection, and I'm super jazzed. That's why I'm making this video. So, my wife, being the awesome wife she is, for Christmas, gets me the Friday VIP pre-party tickets. So the two of us, we get there on Friday because the convention's actually Saturday and Sunday. Come walking in, we wait in line, we get our free t-shirt in our bag and wristbands and all that stuff. Walk in. First thing you see is the table where they're selling this year's t-shirts, which were awesome. I'm super disappointed I didn't buy one. I'm kicking myself, but I have so many t-shirts already. If you were there, you saw it, hopefully you got one. Right next to that, I spot something. One of the things I really wanted to pick up, and I shoot right over to it. I was super jazzed that it was right out front. So last year, at the Midwest Gaming Classic, I stumbled upon this booth. And this book catches my eye, so I walk over, and I end up picking it up. And that is this right here, the complete NES officially licensed US releases by a Mr. Jeffrey Wittenhagen. So this book is awesome. What are we looking at? It's got about, a couple hundred pages. It's catalogs all the NES US releases, obviously. It's got little check marks for cart, box, manual. This thing's awesome. This is what I use to catalog my NES collection. Obviously, I'm very serious about my Nintendo collection, and before I had this, I didn't really have a definitive way to catalog it because how do you alphabetize Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Obviously the correct thing would probably be under T for Tyson, but some of the games are stupid. They might put it under M, might be under P for Punch-Out. I don't know. Well, now I know because Jeffrey Wittenhagen wrote this book. So I see this table, I walk up, and there's the man himself, Jeffrey Wittenhagen. So we start chatting. The guy is super cool. Aside from being the author of this fantastic book, he was really personable. We had some good conversation. He's really interesting. Not only did he make these fantastic books, but he's a drill instructor in the Army. You don't hear that every day. He holds some world records for Nintendo games. I know he's got a couple world records on Super Punch-Out, I believe. I don't want to misspeak. But, we're kind of having a lot of fun, so the details are a touch hazy, but I know he's holds some records. So the guy is super interesting, super cool. We're chatting. Turns out, a game that I have been wanting, the Black Box Challenge. It's a NES homebrew game. It's about him. He's on the cover. I'm not sure if he made it, whatever. He's the guy on the cover. We start talking about how I want the game, but I can never find it. I can't, obviously there's not many made, but never even see it on eBay. The conversation takes a turn somewhere else after we discuss it for a while, and no exaggeration, 1 minute later, his buddy comes walking up. Can't remember the guy's name. He was real cool too. Had a beard. Turns out he is actually a character in the game. But he comes walking up and he's like, "Hey Jeff, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but you know, hey, look what I found." And he's got a copy of the Black Box Challenge. Complete mint copy in box with the plastic cover over it. And he's like, "Well, I don't know what we should charge for it," you know, so they're having a discussion and they decide what they think they should get for it. He's like, "All right, cool, I'm gonna go, you know, throw it over there." And I said, "Well, no, hold on, don't go anywhere. Take my money, please." So I hand him the loot and he gets me the game. I'm there for 5-10 minutes and I already score one of the things I really been looking for. So the Black Box Challenge, complete, in box, mint condition, signed right here by Mr. Jeffrey Wittenhagen. So this is a, you know, cool RPG style game where you're going to collect all the Black Box Nintendo game. So I'm super glad to have picked this game up, you know, but we've only been here for 10 minutes. I am super chomping at the bit to get into the hall and the other rooms to see what else this place has to offer. If this is what I found the instant I walked in, what other treasures await me? So, you know, I was having a good time talking to him. I don't want to cut him short, but I did want to cut to the chase. I said, you know, your complete NES guide is how I catalog my games. This year I was super hoping you'd be here. I want to pick up, you know, the other books you have to catalog the other systems I collect for. Obviously the Super Nintendo, you know, Sega Genesis. He says, "Oh, well, then you're going to like this." So he busts out the new complete Super Nintendo collector's book and ultimate guide. We're going through it. It's awesome. It's 3 times as thick. Book is just as good. I'm seeing hundreds of games I never even heard before. I'm super jazzed. I'm like, "All right, take my money, take my money." He's like, "Oh man, sorry, I can't sell it." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's literally the reason you're here, to sell the books you wrote." He said, "This is the only copy there is. The book is done. This was like the prototype, and I can't sell it because the other books aren't in my possession. They're being shipped to me now, but I don't have them yet, so I can't sell this because I need it to show people at the convention. Otherwise, he's not going to sell many of his books." So I'm crushed, you know. I'm like, "Oh man, it's what I wanted." So being the cool guy he is, he's like, "I'll tell you what. It's Friday night. I have to leave Saturday night to be back on base to be a drill instructor because it just keeps getting interesting, like I said. If you hit me up Saturday night, I'll sell you this book." So, okay. Boom. I'll be there. Fast forward to Saturday. A lot of things happened. We're going to cover that in a couple other videos. Super good time. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. But it's getting late. All of a sudden it hits me. I'm like, "Oh my God." Never went over and hit up Jeff. Like, "Oh my God, what if he left? If he sold the book to somewhere else?" So we shoot over to the booth. He's sitting there. His table is pretty picked clean. There's not a lot left. He sold out of the NES books. I'm not sure what else he sold out on because I didn't really get into that because I was so worried about getting my hands on the Super Nintendo book. You know, so I come walking up and I just had I had a bad feeling. I was just like, "Oh man, I'm late. He sold it to somebody else," you know. Come walking up and said, "Hey Jeff, what's the score, man, you think?" And bam! He busted out. There it is. He's like, "Yeah, man, I was saving it for you. Here you go." So, this right here is it. The complete Super Nintendo collector's book and ultimate guide. Look how thick this thing is. Let me bust up. Here's the Nintendo one, which in itself was awesome. It's the Super Nintendo one. It's over twice as thick. This thing's like 20 pounds probably. But, yeah, I got it. It's awesome. It's got this couple little marks on the cover, which I don't care about at all. But I say to him, I'm like, "Well, I hope you get mad at me, but even when you're super rich and famous and this is worth a ton of money, I'm going to be writing in it because it's what I'm going to use to catalog my system." And he says, "Well, that's why I put these little check marks in here." Whoa! So, you know, it's got cover art, little description, screenshot, box for cart, box and manual, so when you get them, you check them. And that's how you catalog a Super Nintendo system, people. Yeah. So I'm really excited, but I'm going to cut in this little video of Jeff right here.
This.
But no, that's just like Gary's here. So that's what I like for Gary.
All right.
So how do you...
Right here we got Mr. Jeff Wittenhagen, the author of these fantastic books. I'm the proud owner of this one right here. Yes, sir. All the NES ones are gone. So we can't show that. But
That is the only copy of that book in
It doesn't work.
by the way, that version.
you heard him say it, people. You heard him say it.
It is.
Fantastic. The lovely model, Erica, is holding it for us. Art, everybody check it out. HagensAlley.com. Very clever. Make sure you buy his books, people.
100% my wife's idea.
So yeah, there you go. You heard it from the author's mouth himself. This is the only copy in existence. Yes, there will be more copies, but they're different than this one, and this is like the errored version. So this is the only copy like this in existence. And Back in the Day Gamer possesses it. And that is why this is my most holy grail from the 2018 Midwest Gaming Classic. So that's what we're going to call it for today. I don't want the video to run too long, but like I said, there are a lot of other things I want to cover. That's why I'm going to do a couple other videos, but I'm going to keep them short because you don't want to look at this face too long, and if you're like me, you got a short attention span as well, and you need to get back to playing video games. But once again, I want to thank all the people that I hung out with and the new people that I met. I definitely want to thank Mr. Jeffrey Wittenhagen for not only being such a cool guy, but writing these awesome books, and for making this fantastic game and signing it for me. So I'm going to get to playing this right now. I'm not exaggerating either. I'm going to get to playing this right now. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, YouTube, keep it retro!